Outstanding weather on this fall day, 62 degrees in Chicago. Wind gusts could factor throughout the day, but not a cloud in the sky. And in the NFC North, the Packers take on Broncos later tonight. Vikings and Bears clash. The Lions already lost in the NFL International Series. They fell to the Chiefs over in London. John Fox defers. Bears winning the coin toss. Robbie Gould, Bears all-time scorer, will kick off his touchback rate 47%. And there's Cordero Patterson, one of the top kickoff return men. In fact, went to the Pro Bowl as a kickoff returner. And the Bears have allowed 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns already this year. That hasn't happened in nearly 6 decades in Chicago football history. Week 8, Bears, Vikings happening at Soldier Field, looking into the sun and sailing over his head. Coming out to the 20, young Teddy Bridgewater at age 22 and already a couple of wins in the division.
Teddy Bridgewater is coming into his own. We saw it last week against Detroit. They'll be looking for more of the same this week here in Chicago, but we all know this offense runs through number 28 in purple. Expect a lot of Adrian Peterson today.
Bridgewater coming with that win in Detroit, completing over 71% of his passes, over 300 yards and a couple touchdowns.
20!
Adrian Peterson, the football, and works his way up across the 25-yard line. We've mentioned Stephon Diggs, who was active the first 3 games, but over the last 3 has been a big play receiver to go along with Mike Wallace. And on the offensive line, of course, they had the early season injuries to Sullivan and Loholt, but those 5 have played together for a game this year. After a gain of 6 for Peterson. Bridgewater, quick pass, caught on the sideline for a first down. Mike Wallace, he couldn't hang on to the ball, Wallace, who leads the team in catches, could not make the catch, so now it is 3rd down and 4. Make sure he's all right. And this Bears defense, Jeremiah Ratliff released after some controversy during the bye week. So Eddie Golden starts at the nose with Will Sutton and Jarvis Jenkins. Shea McClellan, 2nd straight game missing with the knee injury. And Antrell Roll returns in the secondary.
Antrell Roll is a huge return for this Chicago Bears defense. They need some swagger on that side of the ball, and he'll provide it.
Matt Asiata in the backfield. On 3rd down, the pass is knocked away. Gonna go to Diggs, but a good defensive play by Kyle Fuller. And a 3 and out. Bears defense did what they wanted to do.
Really nice play here by Kyle Fuller. He's been rolling with these number 1 or number 2 wide receivers all year and has some trouble with the line of scrimmage sometimes, but he does a good job sticking with Stephon Diggs there to get off on 3rd down.
Jeff Locke, one of 5 UCLA players on the Viking roster. A little pressure, but he gets it away. Mariani loses the football, and it's still rolling around. Goes out of bounds. The Bears will hang on to it. Vikings miss a chance to grab the loose football.
Mariani's pretty sure-handed. This ball hits him square in the shoulder pads.
The ruling on the field is off of the punt. The ball will be placed at the spot where it went out of bounds. Chicago ball, 1st down.
Really sure-handed guy here, and surprising that that ball bounced out of his hands and out of bounds. Got lucky. Fortunate that no Minnesota Viking was ever able to recover that thing before it skirted out of bounds.
And the Bears gained yardage on that play all the way up to the 47, where Jay Cutler is moving in on Chicago Bear passing history with Matt Forte in the backfield. Quick pass to Martellus Bennett, who slips a tackle and gets across to the 45 of the Minnesota Vikings. Good gain on 1st down for Cutler and the Bears. Forte already over 500 yards rushing, all the 3rd on the team in catches. And without a huddle, they go to the line as the offensive line. Rasu, the rookie center, injured his neck Wednesday in practice, so Matt Slauson is over in that position. And Patrick Omame is in the starting lineup. Quick snap, quick handoff. Forte falling down to the 40 and gaining the first down. For the Vikings on defense of those 7 sacks last week, Matthew Stafford against the Lions, Sharif Floyd. They're hopeful he'll return next week. Tom Johnson played well in his spot. Hendricks and Barr lead the linebackers. And the secondary, Terrence Newman and Xavier Rhodes on the corners. Forte, not much there.
It'll be interesting, Chris, today to watch how the reshuffling of this offensive line affects the running game and the play calling of offensive coordinator Adam Gase. Moving 3 guys, actually. Slauson goes to center, Vladimir Dukas goes over to left guard, and then Omame comes in to play the right guard. So 3 new guys in new positions. We'll see how it affects them.
Cutler's pass to Jeffrey, met right away. Bennett was going to block, but Anthony Barr making the tackle. You always, when you change centers, have just an adjustment situation to center snap.
And I think Jay Cutler believes that he is more comfortable with Slauson out of the gun. So a lot of the plays that they run are from under center, but the center quarterback exchange is the most important part of the play. And without a lot of practice of it, let's keep an eye on that as well today, Chris.
3rd and 5. Cutler goes the other way, and Eddie Royal is going to lose yardage. The Vikings with that suffocating defense, and Eric Kendricks, the 2nd-round draft pick from UCLA, who leads the team in tackles and was the defensive player of the month making the stop.
Chicago is going to run a lot of these little screens. They run all different types, the slipper screen, the bubble screen, all these things to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands. Minnesota is ready for it. You saw it twice on that drive, and they sniffed it out both times, the negative yards.
Now, you and I were down on the field. This is the direction where the wind is beneficial. Robbie Gould is going to try a lengthy field goal of 55 yards. The kick. He got through. His season long was 54, and he just topped that. And Bears take a 3-0 lead as he is good from 55 yards away. Vikings 3 and out. Bears get 3 during the NFL halfway point. Chicago leads Minnesota in the opening quarter. With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers in Chicago. Somehow that knuckleball made it through as Robbie Gould has made now 16 consecutive field goals. And the Bears, who have trailed more than any other team in the league this year, have the early advantage. Cordero Patterson is bringing it out. Stopped just short of the 20-yard line. John Fox always has his teams prepared coming off the bye week and happy to have the early lead. Adrian Peterson against the Chicago Bears. 7 100-yard rushing games, including 2 of his 5 200-yard games. Meeting twice a year, of course, in the division as Peterson carries here in a strong run. Pickup of about 8. I thought it was interesting, Rondé, that Mike Zimmer said, I had Adrian preferring the negative runs. There were quite a few, and he leads the league in that department this season. I called him into the office Wednesday. We sat down, we talked, looked at some coaches' videotape.
I think Adrian has the tendency to want to hit those home runs every time he touches football, and he's got the ability. You know, Norv Turner said it's like playing the lottery when you turn around and hand the ball off to Adrian Peterson. You just never know when he's going to give you that burst.
He's a big play waiting to happen. A 2nd and 2. He'll fall down toward the 30-yard line.
But I think it's important, too, Chris, that those negative yard plays, I mean, you don't want them in your offense. They put you behind schedule. You put more pressure on what's still a young quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater. And you can see this season that he leads the league because he gets into the line of scrimmages and he's always looking to make that extra cut when sometimes just sticking your head down and going forward is the best course of action.
His head coach, Mike Zimmer, said he's a big field runner. Sometimes he doesn't even predetermine where he's going to go. He just goes. And he went for a first down there. Peterson. Knocked out of bounds up around the 31-yard line. Sam Acho. Been a big special teams player making the tackle.
Yep. There'll be some good matchups here on this Chicago defensive line, and at the end of this play, some division opponent play each other a lot. There'll be a little skirmishes here over the course of this game. But the defensive front of Chicago, some new guys in different places, will not expect to have a big day today in place of Jay Ratliff, who's no longer with the football team.
Bridgewater on the move, sideline catch made. Kyle Rudolph near the first down. Let's get a game break. Check in with Mike Hill.
All right, guys, Cardinals and the Browns, and you know the Cardinals are a different team with Carson Palmer on the field looking fine. Troy Nicholas, 11-yard touchdown catch. First career touchdown, 7-0 Cardinals in the first, guys. Back.
Thanks, Mike. Nearing the halfway point of the season, Carson Palmer, an MVP candidate. Cardinals leaders of the NFC West here at NFC North battle. 3rd and 3. Matt Asiata checks in at running back. Catch made at midfield. Kyle Rudolph showing that toughness as he falls to the 47 of Chicago.
Plenty of time here for Teddy Bridgewater to throw this play, but this is the #1 rusher here in Chicago, Pernell McPhee, and watch him get stoned here by T.J. Clemmings, the rookie. When Teddy Bridgewater gets that much time, he's going to find his open receivers and get a big first down there.
Well, North Turner called this an equal opportunity offense after Bridgewater hit 11 different receivers, one short of the team record last week. So far, Rudolph on both catches.
Back 20.
After a gain of 16, Bridgewater with time in pocket. And now on the move. And gets rid of it. He came in completing 66% of his passes this season. His goal was to get that 70% mark for the entire year.
And he'll get there. You know, Teddy Bridgewater is one of the most poised and patient young quarterbacks that I've been around. You get in production meetings with him, and you can't fluster him. You ask him tough questions, he comes back with these easy, I'm prepared for you responses, and it shows in his play, Chris.
Come on. 58.
Peterson straight up the middle there, inside the 45 and jump backwards. Going up 3rd down. On the injury report, finger, hip, ankle. You heard Holly Saunders mentioned during the week, so for Peterson, just the practice on Friday. And there'll be a series or two in the first and second quarter where they'll rotate in Eric McKinnon to give Peterson a breather. And here on 3rd down, he checked out. Masiata checks back in. Vikings need 7.
Here's Stephon Diggs at the top of your screen. He was such a big target last week. See if he's in the progression here.
Bridgewater gets away and flips to Matt Asiata, who is going to be swarmed at the 47-48-yard line. The rookie safety, Adrian Amos, put the pressure on Bridgewater to break that play up in a hurry.
Well, this is something that Chicago does not do a lot of. That's blitz the quarterback, and I don't know how Adrian Amos missed that sack, but great job by Teddy Bridgewater avoiding it.
In fact, the Bears blitzed the least of any team in the NFL this season. And it looks like Tracy Porter is getting some medical attention over on the Bears sideline.
Free runner into the quarterback, and Teddy is great stiff arm. He looks like Adrian Peterson right there giving him the business there, but got him off on 3rd down. Good play by the Chicago defense.
Mariani has trouble with this one. He muffed it earlier. It's not out of bounds up across the 16-yard line.
All I can think, Chris, is that there is some wind blowing around down there, and this ball is just moving out of its reach.
Mariani with his second muff punt, and the gusts of wind, they're inconsistent. And Robbie Gold, who went over and talked to Mariani, the kicker, studies weather patterns in every stadium, and especially here, was giving him some advice. Matt Forte carries, gets up near the 20-yard line. Jay Cutler passed for a season high 353 yards in the last start at Detroit. Of course, the bye week missed most of week 2. The lost Arizona all of week 3 up in Seattle. But when they beat the Raiders and Chiefs, he had a couple of touchdown passes in each of those games.
Jay Cutler's been doing it pretty much all year in a unique style, and he's out here.
And Matt Forte getting ready to take the direct snap. Forte following blockers. The Vikings, who have missed the fewest tackles of any team in the NFL this season, have shown you right away how good their tackling can be no matter who's carrying the ball.
Well, this Wildcat imposter at quarterback type of offense, you know, it was in vogue a couple of years ago. You got to wonder if the changes on the offensive line are the reason why Adam Gase is deciding to run a couple of these plays. I mean, we've seen other games where he shows it one time. This is now the second time in successive drives that they've come and done it.
Third down and 3. Slauson playing center for the injured Grassu. Hurt his neck, in case you missed that, Wednesday, and inactive for today. Cutler under pressure and goes down. Vikings with their first sack of the day. Daniil Hunter, the rookie for LSU, who just turned 21 years old and got in on Cutler.
Daniil Hunter is going to be out here on the edge of this defense. Actually, I think he's on the top of the screen. But when his ball gets snapped, there's just so much pressure. They give you that look inside with the linebacker standing in the A-gaps, just confuse you. Then they drop out, only rush 4, and the Bears offensive line, has no answer for him there.
Marcus Sherrills from the 35 has a block and turns the corner. Sherrills is going to go in for a Viking touchdown. A 65-yard punt return, breezing into the end zone.
That really did look easy, didn't it, Chris? They got set up on the right side of the field here on your pitcher, and there is nobody to make play here. Watch this ball, or watch this punt, and you'll see the whole left side of this Bears special teams unit get packed here. Stop it right here. Look at that line right there for Marcus Sherrills. There's just no Bear outside of that line. It's an easy jaunt to for a touchdown.
That's his third career return for a touchdown as a punt returner. Homegrown Viking from Rochester, Minnesota, and the University of Minnesota. The extra point from Blair Walsh. A little tight, but it gets through. And the Vikings break through with the first touchdown and have a 7-3 advantage on the Marcus Sherrills punt return for 6. Former Navy helicopter pilot Mike Brewer, the special teams coordinator for the Vikings, happy with the results of Sherrills' punt return for a touchdown. And staying on special teams on the kick cover team is Blair Walsh with 3.5 to go in the opening quarter. Kicks it to Mariani, who will down it. Bears take over at the 20. It's that Minnesota defense. Those Vikings will scare you, even if it isn't Halloween. That's how good the Viking defense has been so far this year. If they didn't take an intentional safety that last week in their victory, they'd be the best in the league. Forte from the 20. There's a hole for Matt Forte up to the 34-yard line. Another Another step or two, and he'd be running for the end zone. 14 yards on that carry.
When you talk about Matt Forte and running through this offensive line, watch the guard right here. This is Vlad Dukas, who came over for the other side. Just pin in Linval Joseph right there, and that's exactly where Matt Forte squeezes through for a big game.
In his 8th season, he's missed only 5 games in his career, and none since 2012.
Got it.
And a contract year at age 29.
180. 180.
They flip Eddie Royal, and another good job of tackling Brian Robinson from his defensive end spot. Now, John Fox said he wanted to kind of shorten the game, control clock, and of course the offensive line beat up as well. And the running game is in play for that.
Running play will be part of that, but with Brian Robinson right here, you talk about shortening the game. You're trying to trick that guy right there, get him to be undisciplined, but he stays right there. And Eddie Royal is not easy to tackle. That was a heck of a play by 96 there.
Without a huddle, after a loss of 1. Forte trying to find somewhere to go. It seemed like there were 7 or 8 Vikings around before he could even read.
John Fox talks about shortening the game, and it's about running the football. Let that clock run out, keep ball control, convert first downs. But when you get behind the stick like they are now, there's 3rd and 11 here. It makes it a little more difficult. You put the pressure right back on your quarterback, Jake.
Martellus betting 2 between with the receivers on each side of him on the lower part of your screen on 3rd and 11. Forte, one of those receivers. Quick pass, caught, and knocked down right away. Eddie Royal, it'll be 4th down.
Well, this is now the 3rd time we've seen that slip screen that Chicago is trying to run, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands. But what a great defensive play there by Terrence Newman on that play. And this is Everson Griffin. He was a guy who was on the ground earlier. And I think last week too, Chris, he had a little bit of a shoulder issue in that Detroit game. It appears to be bothering him again.
We'll check on the injury. Holly Saunders down on the field. Pat O'Donnell, whose last boot got close. Saw Sherrill's return. His own man runs into him on the fair catch, but he's on it. Vikings will take over on offense. Hey, with a win last night, the Royals 1-1 away from the first championship in 30 years. Game 5 tonight, Edison Volquez. An emotional moment for him against Matt Harvey. Rematch with the Game 1 starters. In New York, you'll see World Series action, Royals and Mets tonight on Fox after football. That's Adam Thielen, who's a terrific special teams player.
You got to get his eyes up.
And good thing Sherrill's on top of that. It's been already adventurous for returners. They probably should wear some sunglasses. You've never played with sunglasses. You just wear them now. You hope people don't recognize you. Peterson to the 25.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen this. I know a lot of my coaches would have been, what are you doing?
Well, he's on the sideline with him. He's not playing in the game with him. But you visors, there are players who have certain visors.
Very true. Very true.
You need to get league approval for that.
You know, maybe there's paparazzi in the stands. He's trying to hide from him.
Cordero Patterson is in his one receiver. Jarius Wright is active today. Had the concussion protocol through last week with the Vikings. Red Ellison is inactive as Peterson carries. And that'll take us to the end of the opening quarter. Bears with a field goal from Robbie Gould of 55 yards. Marcus Sherrills with a 64-yard return. And that's why it's 7-3. Glad you're watching the NFL on Fox. Fans enjoying the game so far at Soldier Field as we begin the second quarter. Holly Saunders, Rondé Barber, Myers, Matt Asiata, the running back. And here comes some flags.
Start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Our referee is John Hussey, his first year as a referee. Let's check in with Holly.
Just update on Everson Griffin. They were applying lotion to his neck and right shoulder. The training staff was working on him for a good 4 to 5 minutes and was shrieking in pain, asking him to go harder, to massage that harder. He is up now, walking around the sidelines. Guys, I'll keep an eye on it, keep you updated.
Thank you, Holly. On 3rd and 11, the Vikings backed up.
Hey, sort it.
6 defensive backs for Chicago. Bridgewater dumps off to Matt Asiata, who gets a block from Diggs, but is knocked down right at the 35. And that may be enough for the first down, and it is.
Great block by Stephon Diggs. You know, receivers are out to catch the football. He told us the block is not one of his favorite things to do. But this absolutely springs this first down reception for Matt Asiata. He's in coverage and just staying with the play, moving the quarterback out of position, and they're able to get a first down.
A gain of 12. Michael Pruitt, the tight end, gets up near another first down, just short. Yeah, when you asked Diggs about blocking, he said, interesting, kind of chuckled. He did talk about enjoying time in the receiver meeting room as a rookie, and I asked him, inactive for 3 games, and then you light the place up. Were you frustrated? No, I had to earn my keep. You know, you got to wait your turn, and learned a lot.
He has earned it, believe me. This Vikings receiving corps would have a great 4x100-meter team in track and field, and he adds to it. He's got speed, he's got elusiveness, he's on his way to becoming a special player, I think.
Adrian Peterson back in, gets the football, and gets the first down. And all the way inside the 45 of Chicago before Antrell Roll brought him down.
Minnesota was able to convert a long third down there, that 3rd and 10. And you get on this side of the 50 now, and now your offense can be patient. Now you can do exactly what your game plan has in store. Now you turn around and hand it to Adrian Peterson, maybe take a shot here at since between the 40s. This alumni zone, I love to call it the alumni zone, because everybody in the stands wants to see a big play here.
Diggs motion, Bridgewater dumps it to Diggs and gets down to the 40. Tracy Porter made the tackle. They made something happen out of that.
Chicago actually does a really good job sniffing out this play. Kyle Rudolph is right here in your screen, right in front of 92 there. This is going to be a play action off to Teddy's right. He's looking to throw this ball back to Kyle Rudolph, but they pick it up. But this is what Teddy does as good as anybody in the league, knowing where his outlet is, knowing where his check down is, finding some positive yards on a play that Chicago had sniffed out.
Pruitt, the time in the backfield. Peterson the football with a hole, and Adrian Peterson still chugging along to the 32. The 9th carry of the game, but it's a first down for the Vikings.
How many of these runs are getting to the second level of Chicago's defense? I think that's the 4th or 5th run that we've seen a safety have to make the tackle, and it's 8 men in the box, and it's still coming to the safety that's in the middle of the hole. That's just a great job by the Vikings offensive line.
And the Vikings have played a number of 3-4 teams so far this season, and even in the preseason.
Well, they told us they're very familiar. We were talking to Scott Turner right there yesterday, the quarterback coach, and he said the 3-4 alignment gives you some problems, but they had some in the preseason. Every game they played this year, except for Detroit, has had this 3-4 alignment, so they're familiar with it.
Peterson inside, working through, and still going down to the 20-yard line. Another first down for Peterson and the Vikings.
Well, this very easily could have been a tackle for loss, but watch him change direction, the cuts. Adrian Peterson's 30 years old. His legs are moving like he's 22 still. Man, he's impressive.
Love these cuts. Had a year of rest, of course, as now he takes a breather, and Jerick McKinnon comes in. Peterson, 10 carries, 57 yards already. Jerick McKinnon brought down right away. McKinnon last week had a season-high 15 snaps. Christian Jones making the stop.
That was a nice tackle there by Christian Jones. This ball looked like it was about to get to the second level as well. And Christian Jones has got a big task today, obviously stopping Adrian Peterson in the run game without Shea McClellan in there. He's the guy taking in the signals. He's the guy trying to lead this defense for Chicago.
Here comes a whistle. No play, flag down. John Huss, who comes in, his crew averaging more penalties per game than any officiating crew in the league this year. And that'll back the Vikings up to the 23-yard line. The Vikings, one of the least penalized team in the league, and on offense, they've only had 3 holding penalties, and that's amazing.
That is amazing. Having 2 of their projected starters out since the beginning of the year, and to be that efficient in terms of penalties is very, very impressive.
Bridgewater fakes to McKinnon toward the end zone, a little bit high and incomplete for Mike Wallace.
He had Mike Wallace there. Mike Wallace is a blazer. Again, talked about the 4-1 team. He is that guy, but look at the sun. Watch the sun right into his eyes, and it was a little high and outside. I'm not sure he would have made that catch, but having to deal with that all day is going to be somewhat of an issue going this way, Chris, for these receivers.
Even on a nice day in Chicago, it's an adventure with sun at one end and wind gust at the other. And now it's 3rd and 13. Goes down.
There's Christian Jones again. Nice play on this screen. They had set up exactly like you wanted. Christian Jones is going to be right in the middle of your screen right here. And watch him sniff out this play. Letting the defenders come to the quarterback, but he has to be one guy right there. Brandon Fusco, and he does, makes a big tackle.
So here comes Blair Walsh coming off a 5 field goal game last week. Equaled his career best. Both of those have been indoors. This week from 43 yards. Jeff Locke, the holder. And the kick is good. Both Blair Walsh and Robbie Gould have been on target. And the Vikings extend their lead after the Bears defense keeps them out of the end zone this time. After the field goal, Blair Walsh, who during the bye week went back to Georgia and worked on some things, and it showed last week in the victory over Detroit. Bears coming off their bye week. There's Mark Mariani, who on punt returns has had a problem, and the wind looks like the gust of wind affected the ball, so it'll be take 2 on this kickoff. The scoring drive covered 12 plays, 51 yards. Just under 7 minutes, and it wound up with the Walsh field goal. The only touchdown of this game so far, the punt return by Sherrills. And as the players will tell you, the coaches too, there's just no figuring the win. And Mariani looking into the sun at this end as well. He's bringing it out. And gets up across the 21-yard line. Bears will take over on offense, trailing by 7, facing a red-hot Viking defense. Adrian Peterson and Matt Forte already carrying the load for their teams, and they have been since they have been in the league. Jeremy Langford, and the rookie, giving Forte a breather from Michigan State.
Hey, apple.
Langford from the 21 gets up to the 25. Here comes a flag. Thrown in at the 16-yard line.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's on Charles Leno, the left tackle, starting for Jermon Bushrod, who remains out. 4th straight game with a shoulder injury.
Charles Leno Jr. has played very well this year in relief of Bushrod. In fact, I think they have a decision to make on Bushrod because of the way that he's played in his stead. And Everson Griffin, see it on that sideline. He's still out of the game. Daniil Hunter is in it, right defensive end for the Vikings.
Cutler's 4 out of 4 so far, but only 11 yards.
1, 2, 3.
On 1st and 20, Eddie Royal cannot get loose. Let's check in for a game break with Kurt Menefee. Hey, Kurt.
Hello, Chris. It's a homecoming game for Eli Manning and Odell Beckham Jr. Both grew up in New Orleans, and They've connected for touchdowns so far, tying the game at 14 in the second quarter. Chris and Holly.
Odell doing a little Michael Jackson with the with the New Age dance. I like it.
The Giants leading the NFC. All right, they go without a huddle on 2nd and 21 now.
Hey, Junior.
Four wide receivers. Cutler, quick pass, caught. Jeffrey goes out of bounds up around the original line of scrimmage. Division rivals, you see each other twice a year, sometimes a little tired of each other.
Oh yeah, and this game means a lot to both of these football teams. Obviously, Chicago's trying to get back in the conversation. A win will do that for them. And Minnesota on the road trying to prove themselves for the second week in a row that they can do this.
Chance for the defense. 3rd and 13 to try and light up Cutter. 0 for 3 on 3rd down so far. He has time, and Alshon Jeffrey overthrown. There was an opening between two defenders, but it's 4th down.
I think Jay Cutler had predetermined that he was just going to take a shot on this play here to Alshon Jeffrey because Minnesota has been playing a lot of zone coverage today, not really challenging them like we've seen them in the past. And this is a situation where you expect some pressure, but they dropped back his own, and he took a shot when really something underneath may have been a better option for him.
O'Donnell standing at the 5. Marcus Sherrills waving everybody away from the football. It bounces out of bounds. 38-yard line, where the Vikings will take over a 44-yard punt. Now to return, Bridgewater, and Minnesota with the lead and the football here in the second quarter. Remember who grew up not too far from here and was a Bears fan growing up. His team take over with the lead. Adrian Peterson straight ahead near midfield with another Viking first down. And Zimmer's first year, he didn't have Peterson to give ball to. And this year, he plans to run him as long as he can run him.
Yeah, run him until he can't run anymore. And the direct run here against the Chicago Bears are hitting a lot of pay today, right through that center guard gap. And there's nobody in the middle of that defense. Eddie Goldman's in there starting at nose tackle, or the nose for this 3-4 defense, and they're just getting bullied around there so far today.
69 yards rushing now for Peterson. Peterson again goes into the crowd. I mentioned Mike Zimmer as that ball is ruled. Let's make sure he's down. Yes, and it was ruled down. Zimmer went to high school in Lockport, Illinois. It's about an hour southwest of Chicago, in all conference in football, wrestling, and baseball. After high school, look at these pictures. He went to college at Illinois State. He played quarterback and then moved to linebacker. His late father, Bill, is in the Illinois Prep Hall of Fame for his success as both a football and wrestling coach. Zimmer coaches this team with a bit of an edge as Peterson runs with an edge, gets near another first down. He interviewed as a defensive assistant at 4 different places. He talked about the Dolphins and the Buccaneers and the Titans and the Rams, and finally Vikings gave him a chance, and last year came out of the box strong, and this year has his team contending with a 4-2 record. They've won 4 of their last 5.
He's one of the guys that you sit back and say it's about time, right? He's done everything right in his career. Everywhere he's gone, he's put together a top 10 defense, which he's on his way to doing here in Minnesota. And he's just one of the good ones. You like sitting down with him. I'm impressed with him. Impressed with what he's done here in 2 years in Minnesota.
On 3rd and 2, timeout, Chicago.
First chart timeout, Chicago.
Bears want to make a defensive adjustment on the day after Halloween. Hope everybody had a good one. Our view, and we have a quick view of Soldier Field on a terrific day, and thanks for being with us. We've been talking about the Vikings. What does this Bear defense do? And you look at this Bear defense, not your typical Bear defense we're used to over the years.
No, and they're building this defense. It's not there yet. You know, you got guys like this back there, like our third member of the crew.
That's our director.
But they got a long way to go. John Fox is trying to build a team in his image, which he's done every stop that he's been along the way. And he just doesn't quite have the personnel that he wants. And they'll continue to build as the years go on. But he has players in place. He has Pernell McPhee. He has a corner that he likes. And he's got a safety that I think they really like. Adrian Amos, who we'll talk a lot about as this game goes on.
Adrian Peterson knocked out right away. Brian Callahan from his corner spot. Bryce Callahan, excuse me. I was going to say that they draft very well some of the young players. That's the rookie for Bryce, an undrafted free agent, something General Manager Ryan Pace, he wants to turn over the Bear roster and have a lot of homegrown talent drafted and signed players. And the defense does its job there. As Jeff Locke moves it away. Marianne, fair catch called for. And at the 13. And fans cheering him because it wasn't a muffed punch. They have a great sense of humor here in Chicago. My kind of town.
Bryce Callahan, right slot, right here. And this is a definite change in philosophy for Chicago. They haven't been blitzing much, but today we've seen it a bunch. And there, Adrian Peterson already trying to make a cut. He's frustrated because he slipped, but he was going to get tackled for a loss anyways.
That was on 3rd and short, thus the punt. Bears take over at their own 13. Forte. John Fox talked about, how on the Viking side, Peterson, North Turner says, it's like playing the lottery. You can't win the lottery, don't play, meaning give him the ball. And Fox's theory with Forte, it's like body punches, a boxing heavyweight match. The body punches, you may not think they're doing a lot, but they wear down the defense.
Different analogy for the exact same thing. They love getting the ball to Matt Forte, just like Minnesota loves using Adrian Peterson.
2nd and 7. Cutler with time. Underneath, gets it off. Zach Miller gets a first down. There's a flag down back inside the 10. And the injured player, Eric Kendricks, after Everson Griffin just came back.
Offense, number 65.
And this play's coming back.
Second down.
Patrick Omame, reserve, pushed into starting today because of the injury to Grassu, the rookie center.
Patrick Omame hasn't had a lot of snaps probably since the preseason. I mentioned earlier is really a 3-man shift along this offensive line. Patrick Omame comes in right guard, Dukas goes to left, and of course Lawson goes in at center. So there's going to be some upheaval, I guess, and some negative plays that you can ill afford. This one, it's them way back inside the 10-yard line.
And Brandon Watts comes in at linebacker for Kendricks, who went over to the Viking sideline.
Hey, Pepper! Bring out! Pepper! Today!
Jake Cutler on the move. Completes. Good enough for the first down. Martellus Bennett, who leads the team in catches, receiving yards, and touchdowns, but there's other flag.
Roughing the passer, number 56 on the defense. Helmet-to-helmet contact on the quarterback. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
One thing that Minnesota told us about Jay Cutler is that he's excellent scrambling to his left, which is unique for a right-handed quarterback, but you see him get out of the pocket there, and then the personal foul there came after the end of the play. You see it right here. Chad Greenway with a little unnecessaries, another 15 yards for the Chicago Bears.
and Jay politely pointed that out. A big 15 tack onto the 20-yard gain. Kendricks is back in, so is Everson Griffin. Bears up to their own 43. Cutler backpedaling, and low, it's incomplete. Trying to get to Alshon Jeffrey, who has 2 catches today, but good for only 9 yards. That one incomplete into 2nd and 10. You know, as maligned as Cutler was last year, his 28 touchdown passes were just one shy of Chicago's season record held by Eric Kramer back in 1995. And his offensive coordinator has given him protection this year.
Well, a lot of those protections are in the form of these little slip screens that we've seen today that have not been working for Chicago.
It's Forte. And an excellent tackle, or he'd still be running. 36-year-old Terrence Newman from his corner spot still has game.
This is the best tackling team in football. They don't miss any tackles, really. You watch them on film, and a guy that's 37 years old, Terrence Newman, willing to go in there and make that tackle. That was a tremendous tackle. That was going to be an explosive run.
Bears have 2 timeouts and half the football. The Vikings lead here in Chicago 10-3. And Newman stays in at age 37, turned 37 in September. I knew you tracked his age because you guys are in good company there.
Absolutely. It's hard to do it when you're old. He's still got it going on though, man.
0 for 4 on third down.
Big Red Young.
There's need 7.
Big Red Young. Squeeze. Big Red Young. Big Red Young. Big Red Young. Big Red Young.
Forte as a receiver gets the football, and Griffin flags him down. 4th down. And a timeout used by the Vikings. They'll have 2 remaining.
The Vikings look like they move faster than everybody else. That's just the key to this defense. They play so fast that these little plays, these perimeter-type plays, trying to get the ball to Matt Forte, trying to get the ball to your receivers in the flat, Eddie Royal, and they just swarm to the ball. You put the film on, and they look faster than the opposing team. That's why just killing these plays on the outside.
Well, every quarterback that faces this defense has to worry about who's coming from where after the 7 sacks last week. And already today, having harassed Jake Cutler. Anthony Barr said our goal is really we have a week-to-week goal, but overall is to be a top 5 defense.
They keep working the way they're working. They will clearly be inside the top 5.
Marcus Sherrills standing back at the 10. Fair catch waved for, and up at the 15-yard line, he takes it in. You can get apps and videos and a lot more at iTunes.com/NFL. Well, the Vikings only have a 7-point lead. It's not like their offense has lit it up. The only touchdown, the punt return by Sherrill. So at least from the Jeff Fox theory against Zimmer's team is we want to keep it close. And they've been able to do that so far.
Well, this is a balanced type of offense here in Minnesota. They're not really trying to be an explosive team. They want to run the ball. They want to take chances when they can. But they're pretty methodical.
Jarek McKinnon in, gets the handoff from Bridgewater. And his way all the way up across the 31-yard line. Was a step or 2 away from breaking it.
Jarek McKinnon has a lot of juice as a running back. Gets the ball as a chain-up, obviously, to Adrian Peterson, and just making people miss in the open field for a little guy. We mentioned this last week. He breaks a lot of tackles.
Incomplete for Wallace. Bridgewater now 7 out of 12 so far in this game.
Well, this was just a flat drop here. Wallace had that quill in his hands. You know, he came up waving across his face like maybe he was struggling with the sun, and we mentioned that going this direction, it tends to be in your eyes a little bit.
And a cloud in the sky. McKinnon, the running back, on 2nd and 10. Bridgewater. And some wrestling going on over there, but the coverage good on Diggs by Kyle Fuller. It'll be 3rd down. Diggs only 1 catch today. Bears have kind of taken him out of this offense. He's been the go-to guy the last 3 weeks.
And Kyle Fuller is the one that's got responsibility. I wasn't sure if he was going to follow him around all day long, but he is. He's tracking number 14. He'll be on him to get here on this play.
Hey, check that. Yeah, saw it.
Plenty of time for Bridgewater. And it's intercepted by Kyle Fuller. Inside the 35, the Bears with the takeaway.
This is a fantastic play by Kyle Fuller playing two-man with two high safeties. He's the underneath defender, and Teddy Bridgewater here holds on to this thing a little too long and throws a late ball across the middle, and Kyle Fuller is chomping at the bit. See right here, he's right here, he's going to be underneath this route just like this. Just watch him play this. Playing inside technique, he knows he has help from the safety behind him, number 38 there. Just a poor decision by Teddy Bridgewater and a good play there by Kyle Fuller.
First turnover in this game. And already in field goal range the way Robbie Gould has been kicking. But Cutler and the Bears want more. He's going to get rid of that in the area of Martellus Bennett, but didn't see anything open.
The Chicago Bears defense really has not been turning the ball over at all. They haven't created any turnovers, and that was a big one here right before the half. And Kyle Fuller's a guy we all know early in his career. He had those 4 interceptions last year to lead all rookies, but he struggled early in this season. It's nice to see him get an interception here and help his offense with field position.
Checking the surface tablet over there is the quarterback coach with Bridgewater going over what happened. On 2nd and 10, Cutler. A quick pass and open is Alshon Jeffrey. And he's got a first down inside the 21. Bears take a timeout. Let's check with Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, Big Ben makes his return against the defeated Bengals. The Lions look lousy in London, and Keenan Allen looks to provide a bolt of energy to Chargers offense. We'll see you at the half.
Thanks, guys. A lot to bring people up to date on. The Saints lead the Giants. Cleveland upsetting Arizona. That timeout used, so the Bears will have one remaining. Spotted at the 21-yard line at its first down. Trailing by 7. There's Adam Gase, the 38-year-old offensive coordinator. You remember him from Denver. Goes back a long way with Cutler. End zone throw. Catch. Did he hold on? Yes! Touchdown! Bears! Alshon Jeffrey. And Jay Cutler can see his name next to Sid Luckman in the Bears quarterback record book.
This was a heck of a throw by Jay Cutler. Alshon Jeffrey's right there. He's going to be covered by Xavier Rhodes right here later in the down. And a little stun move, but the delivery of this pass was perfect. The catch was sublime. What a big play for the Chicago offense when they needed it right before the half. Both feet down, control to the ground, and this will definitely stay as a touchdown.
Cutler called him the security blanket, a guy that he said I could throw the jump ball to, and chances are he's going to come down with it. Showing some great hands there. It has been confirmed, so the extra point from Robbie Gould to tie this game with 42 seconds to go before half. And the touchdown toss from Jay Cutler to Alshon Jeffrey. You're getting a view of how he honed in on it. But the grip, the grab, he said he had strong hands. He showed them there. It's 137 career touchdown passes for Jay Cutler to tie Sid Luckman's Chicago Bear record for a career.
Great pictures there by Jim Kimmons on that touchdown. Our camera guys here. Spectacular pictures to match a spectacular catch.
And it puts the underdog Bears in a tie game with the team they're trying to catch up to in the NFC North.
Jay Cutler's in some Some nice rare company here in Chicago now.
Well, when you think about the different quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks between Sid Luckman and Jay Cutler, we counted as many as 52. And Cutler, one more, will own the record and owns just about every other major team record.
Well, people don't want to give him a lot of credit, not only here but around the country, but he's done some nice things. He's done really good things this year, Chris, with Adam Gase as his offensive coordinator, and I've been impressed with him, taking care of the football and doing just what we saw there.
A high short kick, and that's up to the 29-yard line. Is Marcus Sherrills on the return. Tomorrow, FS1, Colin Cowherd with Donald Trump talking sports and politics. The Herd at noon Eastern on FS1. And you never know. That's a good Halloween costume.
I think I saw you dressed up like that last night.
I heard that guy saying, we're going to be great, you're going to watch, you're going to love this game.
Who else have we got in the house? Anybody famous in the house? There you go. There you go.
We love the hairstyles.
Those aren't Halloween costumes. That's everyday life.
Big play for we're doing it in style on the touchdown pass to Jeffrey as Asiata carries.
Well, it's the first interception by a Chicago Bears defensive back there with Kyle Fuller. They haven't, like I said, they haven't been turning the ball over. They haven't been able to generate interceptions or fumbles even, and Kyle Fuller came up with a huge one right before the half.
7 total takeaways this year. Bears will get the ball to start the second half. So despite a good first half, 75 rushing yards from Adrian Peterson, out on Jeffrey with the end zone catch. And the Vikings and Bears are tied. Time in Chicago. We're glad you're watching the NFL on Fox. Let's hit a Kurt Menefee and the Visa halftime report. Today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan as we get ready to start the third quarter in a high 10 apiece. Robbie Gould from 55 yards out. Adrian Peterson has run for 75 yards. Marcus Sherrills with a punt return for a touchdown, and then after an interception, Jake Cutler and Alshon Jeffrey. And that's today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Rondé Barber up, Chris Myers. We welcome you back here to Chicago and Soldier Field. Well, let's talk about the Bears first, because they're a team that they're playing the kind of game they want to. They're going to get the ball here to start the second half. And they've been able to be patient, Rondé, because the defense has kept them in it.
Yeah, and there hasn't been an explosion of yards in the game. I think there's less than 250 yards total for both teams this game.
This is old school black and blue, right?
This is like NFC North, like late December type of game when the weather's good, except it's beautiful out here. But you're right, there's not been a lot of explosiveness on the Minnesota Vikings offense, and it's really not the way they're built. But what's been really impressive is the way that Chicago's defense has stepped up. I was somewhat worried about the way they would attack or be able to handle Adrian Peterson. We know what Teddy Bridgewater did last week with the 316 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. They've kept them in check today.
Now, this Minnesota defense last week, we saw an adjustment, and they really brought the heat on Matthew Stafford last week, sacked him 7 times. Do you expect some kind of adjustment here against Jay Cutler?
There'll definitely be some sort of adjustment from Mike Zimmer's defense. But I got to give credit to Jay Cutler and Adam Gase and this offense. They're being patient. They know they can't drop back 5 steps and hit his back foot and expect them to be successful, because that defense is just too good. Being smart with the football, continue to be smart with the football, they give themselves a chance.
Mariani back to receive the kick of Blair Walsh. Second half underway. And looking into the sun, Mariani is bringing it out. And stopped short just across the 17-yard line. Excellent special teams for the Vikings. Here comes Jake Cutler and the Bear offense. 10 of 13, and the record-tying touchdown with Sid Luckman, 137 in his career. Forte, only 8 opportunities.
And they'll continue to protect their quarterback here, get the ball out of his hand, probably some more screens. We'll see if Adam Gase, though, comes up with anything else innovative to get this ball down the field, because those screens are just getting killed by this very fast and aggressive Minnesota defense.
It is Forte. And works up across the 21-yard line. Extra pushing and shoving going on down there. We saw a little bit of that in the first half. Forte did mention that there's a bit of an uptick in motivation anytime he goes up against a team like Adrian Peterson, the Vikings. He's just because of the kind of skill he has, and not only do you want to do well individually, but it keeps the ball away from Adrian Peterson if he's running well.
How can you not be motivated playing against one of the best running backs in the history of the game? I mean, it's not really a direct competition, but you can't help but get your blood flowing when you know you have 28 on the other side.
After a 5-yard pickup, quick pass to Jeffrey, who makes the catch and falls forward for a first down. Terrence Newman on the cover. Let's go downstairs to the field and Holly Saunders.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to John Fox coming out of the Bear locker room, and it was evident there has been a shift in momentum, absolutely based on that final play of the first half. He was very upbeat. He said, hey, we're starting the game over pretty much. It's 10-10. We're starting again from the beginning, and he said, expect them to be a little more explosive on offense, the Bears, in the second half. But as for Mike Zimmer, he was absolutely furious, and he said to his team, we're going to see what we're made of this second half.
And Mike Zimmer has challenged his young team all season long about they're doubting us about this and doubting us about that as Forte carries. And look at the first half number. That touchdown pass, by the way, Cutler going over the 20,000-yard mark for his career, the first Bear quarterback to do that, and did it against pretty good defense.
Well, there's no doubting Mike Zimmer's defense. I mean, the numbers will speak for themselves. The lack of points from opposing teams, volumes throughout the year. They're in this situation now. I don't know if they'll heat them up, but I expect them to be a lot more involved in stopping Jay Cutler here.
And again, a makeshift offensive line. Hudson's at center. And Cutler has to get rid of it in a hurry to Forte, who slips on the turkey side. Adrian Peterson on a running play in the first half. Slip as well. This was resodded, and it is a very thick natural grass. And there's Aronis Grasu, the rookie center from Oregon, who had been doing so well, especially with Kyle Long, who was in his third year from Oregon. And Long, they moved him over from guard to tackle, and active with that neck injury, so it shook up the line.
One thing that helps, though, is that Slauson was primarily involved in calling the offensive line calls anyways from his left guard position to Aronis Grasu. The communication stays the same, even though he's at center.
Over 5 on third down. Cutler wide open. Marquise Wilson. His first catch of the game as he gets up across the 47-yard line for a first down.
Well, this is what I was talking about Minnesota's defense here. They're showing that A-gap pressure. You see the linebackers in the line of scrimmage, but they just dropping into a zone here when the ball is snapped, and it just gives them a lot of time, a lot of underneath room here. And it's an easy completion for Jay Cutler in the first down.
Constant game of adjustments. And now first and 10 after they pick up 14. Cutler, quick pass for Ted, who has room, puts a little move on, and takes a couple of Vikings with him before he goes out of bounds. Although they're going to say he stayed in, but that's a first down.
Well, the one difference between these two running backs, Adrian Peterson and Matt Forte, is that he is such an active part of the passing game. I think he was leading the league in receptions at one point last year. And got out of the backfield, whether they line him up, whether he's coming out from his running back position, Jay Cutler has a lot of confidence in getting him the football.
24 catches already this season for Forte. Jeremy Langford checks in a running back. And Langford showing some explosiveness, going straight ahead to the 25.5-yard line.
Chris, I got to say, this offensive line came out of halftime with a serious purpose. Watch this push that they get from all three of these guys, and there's tons of room here for Jeremy Langford in the middle. Watch the double team up to the linebackers is excellently executed. He gets all the way to the second level for a big gain.
Picked up 9. Impressive drive to start this second half. It's Langford again, and got the first down. Langford drafted in the 4th round. Quite a few. Grasu, you mentioned the rookies from the draft class playing for the Chicago Bears team. Also, Eddie Goldman starting on the defensive line.
Well, you were mentioning what Ryan Pace told you on Friday. You talked to him. He's building from the ground up. Obviously, they're not where they want to be yet, but they have the players. They have the pieces in place, the start of the foundation. They can continue to build. This team will be something in coming years.
Homegrown talent. Bears at about 38%. The Packs lead the NFL with 86% in that area. League average is about 60. Pass. Mariani was looking the other way, and it's incomplete. And Ryan Pace, worth mentioning because he knows he has a lot to do. The Bears were one of the oldest teams. There he is, the young general manager. Last year, they only won 5 games. He brings in John Fox and hires 2 really outstanding coordinators, M. Gase on offense and Vic Fangio on defense.
What I take away from your comments there is young. He looks like he's 25 years old, doesn't he?
And they're the same age, Adam Gase.
Both 37-year-old here. Obviously, he's a coordinator for the Chicago Bears, and he is one of the bright ones in the league.
Already compiled 9 draft picks for next year. They're trying to win in the process. Little dump off to Forte, who gets a nice block. And a good tackle at the 15. The block was by Patrick Omambe. It'll be 3rd down.
Very good tackle there by Harrison Smith to get them to 3rd down here. And Harrison Smith will come right out of the hole here. But this play is the same as the touchdown, same look anyways, but they're just setting up a screen and then run right through here is Matt Forte's specialty, getting north and south. He does it as good as any back in football.
They need 2 as Langford is in. And a timeout. Chicago.
First charge timeout, Chicago.
Cutler 15-19, 121 yards and a touchdown. College football back on FS1 this Thursday night. Second-ranked Baylor against Kansas State. And the place you can see it is on FS1. Some incredible finishes in college football yesterday. Whether it was the Minnesota-Michigan finish or the Miami
finish. Are you kidding me? That was the most credible thing I've ever seen there.
And the entire ACC officiating crew suspended for 2 games from that hurricane lateral play.
I can believe it.
Matt Forte is getting worked up, but Miami still wins. Can't take the win off the board.
No, they can. Watch the end of this play here, and looks like maybe, I mean, again, we're not speculating or anything, but definitely a lower body type injury. Harrison Smith hit him right on that right knee. I think that's what they're looking at there on the sideline.
He's been a durable player over the years for Chicago. On 3rd and 2, a quick pass, and he was trying to get it to Jeffrey, who was falling, and Newman was on the coverage.
I haven't talked much about the surface here in Chicago, but we've seen a couple of slips. Here, Adrian Peterson, we saw one easy. And just watch him as he comes out of his break here. But a really good break there by Terrence Newman to cause that incompletion.
Robbie Gould to try a 33-yard field goal now. He hit from 55 earlier and has made 16 out of 16 this year. And right down the middle, Robbie Gould is money. And the Bears take a 3-point lead, taking the opening drive of second half and getting 3. Matt Forte, you saw leave moments ago, and headed to the locker room. He's only missed 5 games in his career. Mentioned in the first half, he hadn't missed any time since 2012. And if the Bears have to play this half without him, it falls on the rookie Jeremy Langford. Also, Anton Smith is active at the running back position, but mostly special teams for him.
That'll be a big blow if he's not able to come back into this football game. Jeremy Langford is capable. They were telling us before that they want to get him more involved anyways, but certainly not at the expense an injury to Matt Forte.
The gust of wind come and goes, so it needs to be held as Robbie Gould kicks this for a touchback. A well-placed kick without any return. Vikings first offensive series of the second half, trailing by 3. With Rondé Barber, Holly Saunders, Chris Myers here in the third quarter. Bears eating up time and getting 3. Vikings first possession of this half. And Adrian Peterson with his 5th carry, averaging 5.5 yards a carry.
Just watch the ball here as it comes towards the pylon. This is pretty funny because obviously this is a penalty if this ball goes out of bounds, but we know for a fact that it didn't go out of bounds, and the officials have to tell us that it hit the pylon.
Well, Cordell Patterson ran over there as if to say it went out of bounds and then quickly went away disappointed. On second down 7, Mike Wallace, who came in as the Viking leading receiver, has no catches and a drop. Incomplete. Coverage was tight on Stephon Diggs, and he only has 1 catch for 4 yards. Those are the numbers on Bridgewater.
Far cry from what we saw last week. Teddy Bridgewater. It's been mostly an Adrian Peterson type game. That's what you would expect. On the road, hostile environment here in Chicago. They want to feature Adrian, but it looks like Teddy Bridgewater's going to have to get something going here on offense. They're going to move the ball.
Third down, Bridgewater, open Diggs, first down, and dancing around, does some nice work to get up across the 35-yard line for a first down. No further information at the moment on Matt Forte, who went to the Chicago locker room, but we will stay on top of it and check with the team if there is any official update during the broadcast. You know, last week the Vikings had their season high, 425 yards of total offense. And 2 weeks ago, last time the Bears played, they had their best point total of the season. This has been a defensive struggle. Bridgewater is on the run. He gets away and slides. And here comes the flag. And another flag. Sam Acho, what's the guy to do? Well, if it went helmet to helmet, that's automatic.
I think that's what they're conferring here.
After the play, pushing ball, defense number 49. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And as he's sliding feet first, he's giving himself up, and it's really hard to put this on Sam Acho. I mean, I know you can't make helmet-to-helmet contact here, and the fans here don't like it.
I mean, Otto was going out of his way to not hit him hard. He just was trying to catch up to him. So, but it works against the Bears.
The only thing I can say is that he's got to know sliding quarterback is completely off limits.
Off limits. Fair enough. So spotted at the 48 of the Bears on first down. Peterson. That's down around the 40, flag down at midfield.
Holding. Offense number 83. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And the rookie tight end from Southern Illinois, Michael Pruitt. So that's only the 4th offensive holding penalty that's been accepted on the Vikings this year.
Michael Pruitt over here. He's in the slot right. He's going to hold this guy right here, Pernell McPhee, and trying to get the edge for Adrian Peterson. A little bit of an acting job there by Pernell McPhee. It didn't look like there was that much of a hold, but when he goes to the ground, that's what the referee sees and throws the flag.
Hey, 59, swap!
I think McPhee knew he couldn't make that play. He just dove to the ground.
One of the better Bear defensive players. Not a bad actor. Bridgewater on target and was well on the run to Diggs. The 5th round rookie from Maryland who had a year of eligibility left, but Vikings drafted him and have gotten a lot out of him in these last 3 games.
Here's McPhee over here. Watch this. He's working against Matt Khalil here on the rush, and watch one can't get there. He just jumps to the ground and he'll get up complaining that he got held there. There was no holding there. A nice play by Teddy Bridgewater getting out of the pocket and finding that collision.
Gain of 15.
Set. Back 20. Back 20.
Bridgewater, ball is batted and incomplete. Again for a game break with Mike Hill. Mike, what's going on?
Offensive explosion is what's going on in New Orleans. Giants and the Saints. Eli Manning looking for his guy. You know who his guy is. Odell Beckham Jr. 50 yards on the score. His 3rd touchdown of the game. 7 touchdown catches this season. Tied with Gronk for the most this season. 28-28 in the 3rd.
He'd give us the whip and Michael Jackson again.
That is
like
an unbelievable high-scoring game between the Giants and 6 down in New Orleans. The opposite here, 3rd and 5. Bridgewater going deep. He's open and overthrown is Mike Wallace.
Well, that's amazing that Teddy Bridgewater can overthrow Mike Wallace. Now, Teddy doesn't have the strongest of arms, but he absolutely whips this thing down the field. Mike Wallace is out here as the #1 receiver and just little go route. Tracy Porter gets caught with his feet on the ground and it just outthrows his speedy wide receiver.
Golden opportunity missed by the Vikings, and we have a timeout. Chicago using a timeout, and it will have 1 remaining. Well, John Fox, they're building, he won't say it, but the reality is, let's call it reshaping in Chicago. Amazing, he went to a Super Bowl with Jake Delhomme in Carolina, went to the playoffs with Tim Tebow in Denver, and then, of course, Peyton Manning, a Super Bowl.
I think a lot of people are happy. I mean, you don't want to be happy with a losing team, but happy with the way that they've played this year. You know, they've jettisoned a lot of players on this team, whether it's because of age or because of other mitigating circumstances, we'll say. But this team got a long way to go, and John Fox has totally acknowledged that in the future, this team will look a lot different than it does right now.
Yeah, and he'll have to deal without Eddie Royal as a knee injury. And he's up for the remainder of the game. Mariani, fair catch called for. And no update on Matt Forte, but he's still in the Bears locker room. So the injury piling up. They started on the offensive line today, but the Bears have the lead. Martellus Bett came in as the leading receiver for this team. Targeted 3 times, only 2 catches so far. Jeremy Langford in for the injured Matt Forte. Marquise Wilson for the injured Eddie Royal. Langford.
It's interesting you bring up Martellus Bennett. He's one of these new age tight ends. I say new.
What does that mean? New.
Because you get these giant receivers. He's 6'2", 70, and they're basketball types. But this guy is new age because he does more than just catch passes. They laud up his ability to block a box. Obviously, they can split him out like they are doing now. Give him mismatches at the top of your screen here as the #1 receiver. Just a unique guy.
Huge at 6'6". Cutler's throw to Jeffrey. Makes the catch, and with the run, a first down up across the 31-yard line. Jeffrey is the leading receiver in the game, and he's going to have to be the go-to guy even more with Eddie Royal out. That's his 6th catch, and of course he has the touchdown.
And him coming back from his hamstring injury has been enormous for the Bears offense in their last 2 games. Weeks ago when they played Detroit, he had 140-some yards, and he was the difference in that passing game that day.
Best game of his career came against the Vikings in the Metrodome in 2013. For Jeffrey, and overthrown. Coverage, the veteran Terrence Newman on him.
You know that now that Matt Forte is at a football game right now, you can see a definitive change in the game plan here for Adam Gase in this offense. Empty backfield on the last 2 snaps, whether they're trying to get a quick passing game going or just trying to change it up because they don't have their number one runner. We'll have to see. Three wide receivers on the field again on this play.
To about the 34, Anthony Barr shoving him backward. Now, if you're on the defensive side with the Vikings and you know that Matt Forte is out, how does that change things for you?
Well, obviously, the running game is, it's interesting you said that too, because Adam Gase told us it would be, irresponsible to give up on the running game regardless if Matt Forte is in the game or not. But this Vikings defense knows they can pin their ears back, and this is a situation where they like to do this. Look at all these guys on the line of scrimmage right here. Whether they blitz, pop out, it just causes so much confusion to the offensive line. And Matt Sloan, you see him making the call right there, has to get right here.
On 3rd and 6 for Jeffrey, who made the adjustment and a great catch. Inside the 40 of Minnesota.
Well, Jay Cutler's matchup du jour is 17 on 23, but look at the pressure first. Good protection inside gives Jay Cutler the opportunity to deliver his ball, and then when you got your big wide receiver, a double move on 37-year-old Terrence Newman, makes another nice catch.
A gain of 28. Cutler has been sacked just once today. He came in with only 9 sacks allowed by this Bear offensive line. Nothing there as it bounces into an open field. Let's check in with Holly Saunders.
Finally received confirmation why Matt Forte is still in the locker room. He has a knee injury and is questionable to return. I will stay close to the locker room for more, guys.
All right, thank you very much. A knee on Forte, also a knee on Eddie Royal. It's been that kind of a game. So Jeremy Langford, Marquise Wilson in to pick up the slack. But Cutler's been going to Jeffrey, and here Jeremy Langford carries. And we showed you earlier, Rondé, we weren't exactly sure, but on this hit when he left the game, and now the report that he had a knee injury as he went to the locker room.
It just looks like it's either a little bit of a hyperextension or maybe a helmet or shoulder pad to the kneecap. And those things, I know as a player can be very frustrating. Range of motion starts to get limited, and perhaps they're just going to be speculative to see what's going on with his knee.
Third down, pressure coming. Cutler gets rid of trying to go to Bennett. Just survived. Everson Griffin leads the team with 4.5 sacks this season.
Well, this is the threat. If you go empty backfield against the Minnesota Vikings, Everson Griffin is untouched to your quarterback here. He better get rid of his football, which he does, or he's going to take a big hit. And again, look at the hit, the shot he took after he delivered it too.
Bears trying to extend their lead. This will be for 51. He's been perfect this year. Already 2 today. He plays the wind and just does miss. This is the more difficult side to kick into, according to both teams, prior to the game and the wind shifting. So a missed scoring opportunity. But the Bears still lead it 13-10. The black and blue division, long-standing nickname back then for what was the NFL's and the NFC's Central Division in the 60s through the mid-80s, known for the gritty smash-mouth football and the low-scoring matchups. Coming into today, Vikings and Bears have met 108 times. Vikings having 4 more wins in the all-time series and a couple of Bear greats. This is the 30-year anniversary, by the way, too, of the 85 Super Bowl champion Bears. On first down, Bridgewater underneath to Peterson and falls to turf at the 46-yard line. And of course, the monsters of the Midway, remember the University of Chicago going back historically, they kind of handed that off to 40-41 Bears, and and they were nicknamed the Monsters of the Midway, and the C is for University of Chicago, the old Maroons, which obviously the Bears' professional team, and a great franchise. A lot of great players over the years, a lot of retired numbers from the Chicago Bears. Peterson, that hard, hit a wall at the 50, but look, he falls forward. May have a shot, looks like from that vantage point, a first down. And there's a player back out inside the 40.
I think that's TJ Klings, who's down injured back there, and on the other side of the field, I believe it's Leroy Reynolds also walking off field injured.
TJ Clemmings on the sideline. Austin Shepard comes in on the offensive line. Leroy Reynolds went over to the Bears sideline. And Peterson just keeps on working. Down to the 42-yard line of Chicago. And they hit moments ago. Talk about black and blue. There's purple.
Careful what you ask for when you go up against Adrian Peterson. Big back, runs with a lot of power. That's a business decision when you got to put your face on that guy. He's getting, it looks like he's getting his thigh or something looked at. Maybe he had contact to quad there on the sideline getting taped up.
A throwback game in the NFC North. Peterson with 90 yards rushing and gets the football. Spins and is brought down right away by the rookie Adrian Amos. Third on the team in tackles as the third quarter winds down. Only scoring in the quarter was a Chicago field goal. Robbie Gould made one, missed one. Vikings have him threatened. And at the end of three, the Bears, who have won 7 straight at home against the Vikings, have a 13-10 lead. 4-2 Vikings trailing the 2-4 Chicago Bears as we start the fourth quarter. Matt Asiata running back on a 3rd and 3. Water from the 42, pass to Jerry Wright is caught for a first down. That's Wright's first catch of the game, the 6th different receiver last week. Bridgewater completed to 11 different receivers.
Another minute there, running in zone coverage, and Jerry Wright popped the secondary there.
Peterson back in, 18 carries, only one with a loss and one with no gain. 90 yards rushing. Peterson the football. Putting his way inside 30 and shoved back by 3 or 4. Like the whole big team go over there.
Well, he's definitely been more decisive running the football downhill today. Last week we saw him jumping around and hold, trying to find that big gainer type play. Today he's just being the Adrian Peterson that everybody in this league is scared of.
And that meeting when Zimmer called him in the office on Wednesday, and Zimmer gave him the point of view of the defense, what makes it difficult for a defense to tackle him when he's running like he's running. And he said, you know, I've hit a lot this year, and I'm built for it. Bridgewater has to get rid of it. Let's check in for a game break with Mike Hill.
Arizona, once down 20-7 in Cleveland, have come back. Get Carson Palmer finding his tight end Troy Nicholas' second touchdown of the day. 24-20 Cardinals with the lead.
Thank you. And when you see the Browns, you think of Johnny Manziel. Same draft as Teddy Bridgewater. Blake Bortles, the first quarterback taken in that draft a year ago.
They're down here from Minnesota. They got to convert, got to give themselves an opportunity to score a touchdown here on the road.
Bridgewater's throw for 8. And it's 4th down.
And Teddy is just off a little bit today. Numbers will say that he's 11 of 23 or whatever, and last week we saw him complete 70+% of his passes. He had his receiver there on that choice route, that option route, Jarius Wright, and his ball just sails on him.
This will be a 48-yard field goal try from Blair Walsh. Remember, this is the direction Robbie Gould missed a little bit left. The wind tends to swirl a bit more. And Walsh has no problem. And we are tied. From 48 yards, Blair Walsh on target. It's 13 Bears, 13 Vikings. Rodney Barber, Chris Myers, and Holly Saunders here in the fourth quarter. Everybody turned their clock backward. The shadow is just a little bit different, even though it's a bright, sunny, kind of a cool fall day here. Not bad at all for Chicago this time of year, November 1st. And fans enjoying a good one. Vikings tie it with a field goal. Marcus Mariani in the end zone if he has a chance, and he's coming out a yard and loose across the 26 where they'll take over. Let's check in with Holly on the field.
Injury update on DJ Clemmings. I'm told he has a stinger in his neck. He's questionable to return. You can see him on the sidelines trying to work out those kinks, get some mobility back in his neck. But if you saw his face when he came over to the sidelines, it was like he saw a ghost, guys. Not because it's Halloween.
And some people still celebrating. He obviously one of those 5 offensive linemen that started the year that worked together in every game, and that certainly changes now with Austin Shepard in, and the Bears shuffling their own injuries again. To remind you, Eddie Royal out with a knee injury, Matt Forte is out with a knee injury, and they started the day with their rookie center, Ronis Grasu, inactive with a neck injury. So this is Jeremy Langford. The Bears have built their way into a tie with just over 13 minutes left. Actually led here moments ago before the Viking field goal.
And down some receivers here now. They have 3 tight ends, all the active tight ends in the football game. So you got to imagine that they're going to try to run the ball here with Jeremy Langford. Alshon Jeffrey is the only wide receiver in the game right here.
He has 7 catches for over 90 yards and the Chicago touchdown, the only Viking touchdown on Marcus Sherrill's punt return.
Polly!
Jeremy Langford looks like that for a Bear first down. Some tough running. The rookie from Michigan State.
This is a nice positive run here by Jeremy Langford, and he's got a lot of juice. You know, that's what Coach was telling us on Friday when we talked. We want to get this guy some looks because he comes with a lot of energy, great change of direction kind of back. And he's featuring pretty well here with Matt Forte still in the locker room.
Had a career-long 17-yard catch in the last game against the Lions after a 14-yarder in the previous game against AC. And met hard this time with no running room. He's played in all 6 games, but now having to carry it on the ground.
Linval Joseph absolutely destroyed this play right here. He's the nose tackle. He's right here, and Mike Zimmer gave lots of props for him, but watch him absolutely destroy Patrick Omame there. That play had nowhere to go with that type of penetration from a big nose tackle. Look at that, 6'4", 329. Best before you eat breakfast, I think, Chris.
After it's lunchtime now. After loss of 1, Langford nowhere to go. It'll be 3rd down. Captain Munnerlyn coming up for his nickel spot.
3rd down long is exactly the situation that this defense craves. They want to get you a little off schedule, not in the 3rd and 6 range, which is a little more manageable, and they can give you all kinds of look. Who knows what Mike Zimmer's going to draw up right here, but it'll be something exotic trying to get after Chicago.
Alshon Jeffrey, top of your screen.
He's down? Yeah. Hey, 99 down, Mike!
Anthony Barr up here on the outside of the line of scrimmage, bringing an extra pass rusher, move Brian Robinson inside.
Cutler. And catch made, falling to the ground is Mark Mariani. All the way down to the 42 of Minnesota, a gain of 19.
Mark Mariani was a great receiver in college, but he doesn't have a lot of targets this year But how about Jay Cutler's confidence in this? Look at the route, the out and the up, and Captain Munderland is in pretty good position right there to defend that. But the throw is perfect, and the catch is just outstanding.
Jay Cutler's used to dealing with backup receivers. When Jeffrey and Eddie Royal were both out, he was throwing to Wilson and Bellamy and Cameron Meredith. Meredith inactive today as Lang is shoved back from the 40. Langford, excuse me.
I know Mariani is more of a special teams guy here, but he was a 1,300-yard receiver at Montana, so they have talent at wide receiver. Not a lot of opportunities for these guys. When you get your opportunity, you got to take it.
Caught 29 touchdown passes at Montana. Still looking for his first in the NFL as a receiver. The Bears signed him late last year, and he played in 6 games. As the punt return, kickoff return, and backup receiver.
Hey, poker! Hey, you right here.
There's time for Cutler. He's going deep. Marquise Wilson open. And complete.
He was open for a really long time here on this route. He's right here. He's going to run in and out. Watch him go in and up the field. And this break outside, you see Terrence Newman react to Alshon Jeffrey, and it leaves Harrison Smith one-on-one, and that is a mismatch. And just Jay Cutler puts a little too much juice on that ball.
Now we're 3rd down and 8. If get nothing, it's a 58-yard field goal try if they're so inclined.
Junior! Tonight! 180!
Pressure coming. Pass complete to Jeffrey. Did he hang on? It was low, and he went down to get it and did hang on.
I think he's going to be just short of the line to gain here, Chris.
But it helps the field goal try if they opt for that.
Well, they're bringing in another offensive player. I think John Fox is thinking about going for this.
Well, you'd be looking at about a 51-yard field goal here. And he is going for it.
Yeah, good job by Jay Cutler on that throw. Identifying the pressure, getting it to the receiver's hands before he took a shot there.
On 4th and 1, Cutler to throw and completes. Jeffrey, first down and over 100 yards receiving.
He's come big today, hasn't he, Chris?
What a gutsy call by Adam Gase and Jeff Fox.
Well, you get in this point in the field, and sometimes a long field goal is not necessarily what you want, so you're deciding whether you punt or whether you go for it. And they decide to go for it, and this connection is hot all day.
We have an official who's injured over on the other side of the field and being tended to by the medical staff. Line judge Ron Marinucci caught up in that last play, appears to be okay. Medical staff helped him get over to the sideline. So the officials will work with a 6-man crew, so the deep middle part of the field will be less visible. For the officials to watch on 1st and 10. After an important play, Langford carries and works inside the 25. Everson Griffin, who was hurt once already in this game and came back in, is in pain again.
We mentioned earlier that he had some sort of shoulder or arm injury last week, and
he's tilting.
Yeah, same injury that he had earlier in the game, and he's off to the sideline. He's looked uncomfortable all day, and that could be a stare. And that could be something in the rotator cuff. Who knows? He's such a powerful guy using his hands in pass coverage every time he uses it, and I'm sure it's just singing him.
Daniil Hunter will come in for him on the defensive line. Just 1 sack in the game today. And that by the Vikings on Cutler. Second down, 6. Cutler has room to run. And he will for a first down.
run this play once or twice a game. It's just old school read option. He'll pull it once. He's not much of a runner, even though he's been effective scrambling around in the pocket this year. He picks up a big first down.
23 career game-winning drives, including a couple this year. A tie game with just 6.5 to go.
They've been real methodical, eating up a lot of clock on this drive.
Alshon Jeffrey with the catch, and he won't go down. Eventually to the 5, it'll be first and goal Bears.
I am surprised that Minnesota hasn't done something to adjust to Alshon Jeffrey factor, whether it's Terrence Newman, whether it's Xavier Rhodes, whoever he's lined up on. They're giving him a lot of respect playing all coverage, and they're just picking up the ball, throwing these little 5-yard completions. He's having a big day again today, Chris.
10 catches, 116 yards, and a touchdown. He's not done yet.
Top of your screen right here is Alshon Jeffrey.
That's Newman against him over there. Langford in the backfield. Jeremy Langford gets the football, and will be second down and goal. I mentioned that Jeffers had big games against the Vikings over the years. Now 5 of 21 career touchdowns have come against Minnesota.
And here's a unique set. This is Marcus Mariani right there in the backfield. The receiving back, Jeremy Langford, is right there on the line of scrimmage. A little wrinkle for Adam Gase.
What's the play? Hey, I got here. Hey, what's the play?
Cutler and the Bears are going to lead. Touchdown, Chicago.
He's getting up smiling, but how about the courage of your quarterback here? All that realignment of the offense just so he can scramble out of the pocket. But it's what he does at the end that says, hey, I'm in it to win it today. Sticks his head down and bowls over Harrison Smith for a touchdown. Watch him right here. He's going to see that this line go this way. And he's just going to run right here and run right over safety number 22. Big safety Harrison Smith is, and he wins that battle for the touchdown.
2 runs on that drive. His first rushing touchdown this season. And he had the touchdown pass right before the half to Jeffrey. As the scoring play is to be confirmed before the extra point.
Timeout.
They're just making sure. We'll take a closer look as the officials take a closer look. Ruled a touchdown on the field and then reviewed.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Touchdown.
The review was close. Our rules analyst Mike Pereira was watching this rendezvous with you. And let's take a look. Mike Pereira, your thoughts?
I think Jay Cutler was on the phone saying, was my butt down, was my butt down. You know, to me, when the butt first touches the ground, I do think it's short. The one thing that I like to see, I never argue when the ruling on the field stands. I think that's a good precedent to keep. It was close, and they stayed with it.
And this year, you told me, Mike, 45% of replay challenges have been reversed or overturned. This one stayed the same. The extra point is good. And what a drive for Jay Cutler and the Bears as they lead by 7. John Fox involved in all parts of the game, coaching defense, offense, and special teams. Said, I usually don't talk to my quarterback during the game. He's like the kicker. You don't mess with him. But when I do, it's usually words of encouragement.
He's telling them, don't put your head down. Get ready to get hit by a safety is what he's doing. But I'll tell you what I liked about that call, and Mike Pereira said he liked that they upheld. I liked it that human element played an element in there because to us that looked like a touchdown. Glad it upheld.
And Cordero Patterson tripped up across the 15-yard line. Good special teams play from Joshua Elliman. The World Series on Fox. It's a 3-1 advantage for Kansas City. Game 5 tonight. The Royals 1 win away from their first championship in 30 years. Edison Volquez, Matt Harvey in a rematch of the starting pitchers from Game 1. We hope you're watching the World Series on Fox following football right here.
Minnesota needs to get a drive going. Chris and I just talking in the break. Adrian Peterson had 94 yards on the ground. It doesn't even feel like their offense is moved. Teddy Bridgewater is going to have to do something through the air here to get back into this football game.
The crowd is back into it. Bridgewater is knocked out. And he was just twisted to the turf. Looks hurt. Pernell McPhee got to him.
Pernell McPhee is the one rusher on this team that's consistently brought pressure. And he absolutely goes right by Matt Khalil here. And good thing Teddy Bridgewater's like Gumby and doesn't get hurt too often, because that play looked like it could have been serious.
Very flexible after a loss of 7, and he's on the run again. And he'll run all the way up for a first down and slide inside the 29-yard line.
Not many design runs for Teddy Bridgewater, but he's able to get out of the pocket here. But go back to this hit. Or no, this is scramble. He steps up in the pocket, and Jenkins has a chance there, but really good athlete. Doesn't like to do it. But just before that, watch this on his lower body, and it's not a penalty here, Chris, because he wasn't unobstructed to the quarterback. Did beat a block, so he was able to go low there and not get flagged.
Bridgewater's been sacked 20 times already this season. And flips it to Adrian Peterson, who can't get away. Falls down short of the 30. Let's get a game break. Check in with Kurt Menefee.
Crazy day for Drew Brees. He's got 6 touchdown passes, including this one, Benjamin Watson, and they're just starting the fourth quarter. They need the ball right now. Eli Manning has 4 for the Giants. It's 42-20. By the way, the record 7 in a single game for most touchdown passes in NFL history. Chris?
Thank you. Sid Luckman shares that record with a number of other quarterbacks. Jay Cutler tied him on the all-time Bears career touchdown passing list earlier today. On 2nd and 9. Bridgewater's throw. Somehow it's caught by Diggs. Stephon Diggs to midfield.
Well, 2 things happened on this play. 1, Teddy Bridgewater took another shot at the pocket, and 2, Stephon Diggs does a great job out-muscling the corner there for the Bears. But another blitz by Chicago.
And Diggs is laid out on the field.
And Diggs up here, right here. Watch this just catch. Kyle Fuller like he could have made a play on the ball, but nice catch by Stephon Diggs. Good run after the catch.
Diggs, the injured player. Two and a half minutes to play. The last time the Bears defense did not allow a touchdown was back in 2012 when Lovie Smith was running the show. Only a punt return for a score for the Vikings so far. On first down, Bridgewater. There's a flag in the secondary, and he's thrown deep for Mike Wallace. And that fell incomplete. Flag back at the 34. Remember, the officials working one man short after the line judge was injured.
Holding, defense number 27. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Sherrick McManus, a backup defensive back, called for that.
Right here in the slot. He's been giving up a lot of his reps today to some other players, and that was a quick hold. I'm not sure I would have called that one in this situation. 5 yards to maintain the contact. I didn't see much of a drag or grab from him that would necessitate a penalty there.
Coming up on the 2-minute warning, Vikings hold 3 timeouts. Bridgewater's pass and a mix-up there, digging the area along with Cordero Patterson.
Good job today by Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator here in Chicago, really mixing things up. His defense was not one that blitzed often. In crucial situations, today, though, Chris, we've seen him bring 5-6 defenders, and I think it's really disrupted this passing offense here in Minnesota.
Pruitt falls at the 41-yard line, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. The Bears lead 20-13, but the Vikings are threatening. That touchdown drive by Cutler, 8 minutes 34 seconds, longest by the Bears this year. And now their defense on the spot. It's 3rd and 4 against Bridgewater, who has time and open. It's Diggs. He can fly. Stephon Diggs spins in toward the end zone. Touchdown.
Kyle Fuller's been on Stephon Diggs most of the day.
That's Diggs' second touchdown of his career in back-to-back weeks. And of course, they'll make sure before the extra point is kicked. Kind of a delay when they
wasn't sure that he got in. He's on Ship McManus here, and the option route puts him on the ground, and then this kid shows explosiveness, the headiness for the game, the willpower to get in for touchdown that we've seen the past couple of weeks. Big play by Minnesota.
Touchdown confirmed. Extra point good. First touchdown by the Viking offense today. Tied with 1:49 to go. A 40-yard touchdown toss on a 3rd down play. Bridgewater to Diggs, who ran a lot with it.
And the key was the protection that he had. Gave Stephon Diggs the opportunity to get open there in that coverage, and then just the willpower, the extra effort. Nice block there at the end by Mike Wallace as well to spring him those extra couple of yards to get to the end zone.
Diggs back-to-back 100-yard receiving games, and now he's got over 90 in this game, but that was as big as it gets.
Chicago had playing with fire a little bit, throwing some blitzes at him. Put this kid, who's been spectacular this year so far in his 4 games, put him in man-to-man coverage, and he won. That's as simple as it gets.
He has a likable confidence about him. I mean, it's not cocky. He smiles as he tells you how good he is.
That's a great way to put it, though. The likable confidence. He's great in the meetings. You see his head moving a lot on Sundays, and that's the confidence that you're talking about being verbalized.
Touchback coming out to the 20-yard line with 1 timeout and 1:49 for the Bears.
Watch him win this route. He's right here. He's going to end up on number 27, right over top of him. Just out the end. The suddenness of his routes are just unique for a young player. You talk to Minnesota Vikings players who had to go against him in training camp, and they're all talking about how polished a route runner he is, and just the ability to snap it off at the top, lose your defender, is very, very unique. He's a good young player.
Well, wherever Alshon Jeffrey is, that's where the Viking defense need to be. You see that red line, that's the field goal range area of Robbie Gould. Martellus Bennett with catch, and eventually goes down. Andrew Sendejo wouldn't let him go.
Nick Cutler's been in this situation a number of times this year. We know he has the ability to move this ball down the field or his team down the field and get in field goal range. See what he's got going on here.
Quick, way to go!
Marquise Wilson, no flags. Xavier Rhodes was running with him.
Ton of contact on that play, and past couple of games, whenever Xavier Rhodes been in that situation, you've seen the little yellow hanky come out, but he does good here. Is turn back, look for the ball. He's making an effort. He has as much weight to that ball as Marquise Wilson. I believe that was a great no call.
Well, Rhodes, the coach staff, Jerry Gray, got him boxing gloves to work with during practice that he wouldn't grab or hold. And the coverage was good.
Proper.
On 3rd down and 5. Cutler on the run, and it's dropped by Langford. Cutler did a lot to make that happen.
Right there is where you miss number 22. I'm pretty sure Matt Forte would not have dropped that ball. Good job by Jake Cutler creating some space and some time to throw this thing. And he does this as well as anybody this year, finding receivers late and downs, and this hits him right in the hands. It's got to be a completion.
Pat O'Donnell standing at the 15. Marcus Sherrills has a punt return for a touchdown in this game. The Vikings will have all 3 of their timeouts with just over a minute to play here. The pressure was on. He juggled the ball. The kicker O'Donnell went down, but flags. And Sherrills dances out of bounds around the 33.
Oh, that was close, Chris.
Well, he juggled the snap a little bit here, or delayed it, right? No, not really. Well, he tried to help him, I guess. Maybe he
Just incidental.
didn't get any part of the football.
No part of the football. I think it was a good no call. He didn't forcefully hit the punter. But now you got Minnesota with the chance to win the football game here. That 3rd down drop could come back to haunt Chicago, but their defense has stepped up all day today. They're going to need to come up with a big stop here with just over a minute to play in the football game.
Kyle Fuller on Diggs, top of your screen. Split out is McKinnon to the bottom of your screen. And it's Diggs on the catch and goes down right away on the turf. Mike Zimmer did talk to his team this week about a number of things, but one was having the right kinds of shoes for this kind of grass and this surface. This is a Bears' first home game in nearly a month.
I think he might be hurt, Chris. This is the second
like
time he's hobbled off the field. Something going on with that left knee.
Bridgewater, Charles Johnson makes the catch! He stepped right in front of Antrell Roll and made the catch.
I am not sure what Antrell Roll is doing right here. He is right here on the outside. It's just a little route that's passed on to the safety. They're playing cover 2 and flat. Teddy cannot throw this ball unless you expect your receiver to do that. That, for all as I'm watching this, I thought that was an interception, but Charles Johnson.
So did Antrell Roll. And Johnson, who's 6'2", a big-bodied receiver, lost his starting job when he got hurt to Diggs, who came on. Just made a clutch catch there.
Big catch, big-time catch. Moves them clearly within field goal range. And I tell you, what a heartbreaking way to get down in field goal territory if you're a Chicago Bears fan. Did everything right for the most part of this game. You gave up 2 huge plays here in the last minute and a half of the football game. The touchdown to Stephon Diggs, and then in that out-jumping ball completion to Charles Johnson.
A gain of 35, 4 career game-winning drives for Bridgewater. He may be singing up Blair Walsh for another one. Adrian Peterson. And Peterson almost broke it. That should put him close to 100 yards.
I think that's the last play of action. He'll let this go down.
And Blair Walsh prefers the left hash mark. He has 3 career game-winning kicks. 1 has come against the Bears.
30-second timeout.
This will be a 36-yard try.
We're not on the field. We're up here in the booth, obviously, but looking at the flags on top of the goalpost, it seems to have calmed down significantly as this game has gone on. I know when I was down there earlier, kicking to this sideline, you saw the yellow or the orange flags on top of the goalpost whipping to the right. Now they're just laying slack. So should be a little bit easier attempt here for Blair Walsh. And a quick timeout
by Chicago, their last. When we wrap up here, bonus coverage on Fox. The Giants and Saints tied at 42. 84 points combined in that game. They still have 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Don't forget America's Game of the Week in the World Series. It's all ahead for you on Fox. What a game this has been.
It really has been, and I'm still shaking my head at the play that Antro Roll was not able to make. And if you're looking at it from the other side, the great play that Charles Johnson made. We haven't heard his name now in a couple of weeks, and all Stephon Diggs. But he came up huge for him right there.
Blair Walsh from 36 to push the Vikings to a 5-2 record as time expires. The Vikings, who last won here in 2007, continue to deny the doubters. Charles Johnson with a big-time catch at Cutler, a great effort, but Bridgewater leading them to victory. For Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, our entire crew, bonus coverage coming up. But first, back to Kurt Menefee, Los Angeles.